The gala was a glittering cage, and I was the bait. The Chicago Arts Foundation's annual bash at the Palmer House was all crystal chandeliers and fake smiles. But I, Julian Carter, was supposed to steal the show, choreographer, rebel, the guy who turned dance into a revolution. Until Vanessa Klein, the foundation's director, decided to clip my wings. "Julian, your pride piece is provocative," she said, her voice sharp as she caught me by the buffet. "Our donors want tradition. Tone it down, or you're off the program." The words hit like a slap. My pride piece was my truth. Every move a love letter to my life as a gay man, to the nights I danced through heartbreak, to the community that held me up. Tone it down? My sequin blazer flashed under the lights as I stepped closer. "Vanessa, my art doesn't shrink for your donors. It's bold because I am. If that's a problem, maybe you're in the wrong room." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Vanessa's smile tightened, her eyes betraying a flicker of something. Fear, not anger. I'd heard rumors about her past. A queer art advocate who'd pushed too hard, lost funding, and learned to play safe to survive. Was she silencing me to please someone bigger? Before she could respond, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Asterisk, you're not as bright as you think, star." "Back off." Asterisk, my heart skipped. "Star." A nickname I hadn't heard since my early dance days. Who knew it? I'm Julian Carter, 32, Chicago-born, and as gay as a pride float on fire. I don't just live, I dominate with charisma, heart, and a will that bends steel. Growing up in Inglewood, I was the kid who owned the stage, whether nailing school talent shows or outsmarting bullies with a quick quip. My mom, a nurse who raised me alone, always said, "Julian, you're a flame. Shine, but watch who's holding the match." I built my career on that, but flames draw enemies. I found Lila, my youngest dancer, by the bar, her eyes wide. "Julian, I saw someone filming you just now," she whispered. Tall guy, tattoo on his wrist. He looked sneaky. Her voice shook, but she squared her shoulders. "I can keep an eye out if you want." I nodded, impressed. "Good catch, Lila. Stay sharp, but stay safe." Lila was new, barely 20, but her instinct was gold. I needed her alert, not just for clues, but for her own sake. Ezra, my best friend, was next, weaving through the crowd in a velvet jacket that screamed confidence. "Babe, you're trending, for all the wrong reasons," he said, his grin fading as he showed me his phone. My pride piece's rehearsal footage was online, raw and unpolished, with comments calling me a fraud. "They're saying you stole it from a Pilsen studio." Total garbage, but spreading. My stomach dropped. Stole? That's my soul out there. I scanned the room, landing on Damian Ruiz, a choreographer I'd beaten for a grant last year. He was laughing with a donor, but his eyes flicked to me, cold and sharp. Damian's family had pushed him hard. His brother flopped as an artist, and Damian carried the weight of their expectations. Was he bitter enough to sabotage me? Lila saw a guy filming. I told Ezra, tattooed wrist. Sound like anyone Damian hangs with. Ezra's eyes narrowed. Maybe Nico, his tech guy. I'll dig into the post source. My social media tricks can sniff out a burner account. Ezra's past, a fashion scandal where his designs were smeared as copied, made him a bloodhound for digital dirt. His loyalty wasn't just friendship, it was redemption. I called Marcus, my assistant, who was at the studio. "Julian, the footage was pulled from our cloud," he said, his voice tight. "Someone hacked an account, maybe one of the crews. I'm calling a tech expert to analyze the metadata, but it looks like it was shot on a phone." Marcus, a former dancer who quit under pressure, sounded rattled. His own failure, betrayed by a shady manager, made him paranoid about leaks. "Lock down the cloud," I said. "And Marcus, you're not that kid anymore. I trust you." His silence told me he needed to hear it. I was learning to lean on him, on Ezra, on Lila, not just to fight, but to win. Outside, the Chicago skyline sparkled, but the air felt heavy. My phone buzzed again. Asterisk, keep shining, star. It'll burn you out. Asterisk, that nickname again. I'd drawn someone years ago, a colleague, maybe from my early gigs. But who? I texted Ezra and Lila. Asterisk, watch your backs. This isn't just about me. Asterisk, my flame was bright, but now I had to protect the sparks around me. Whoever Star was to them, they were about to meet the fire I'd become. The Chicago morning was gray, matching the weight in my chest. That star, nickname from the threatening texts. Asterisk, keep shining, star. It'll burn you out, asterisk, was a ghost from my past, someone I'd crossed without meaning to. The leaked Pride Peace footage was still viral, with trolls calling me a thief, and I, Julian Carter, was fighting to keep my flame lit. I'd always burned brightest alone, but Lila's sharp eyes, Ezra's fire, and Marcus's grit were teaching me to trust. This wasn't just my fight anymore, it was ours. I met Lila at a coffee shop in Logan Square. Its mismatched chairs a stark contrast to the gala's glitz. She slid into the booth, her ponytail bouncing, but her face serious. Julian, I checked the Cruise Cloud logins like you asked, she said, her voice low. Someone used Tarek's account to pull the footage, but he swears he didn't share his password. I think someone bribed him. Her eyes flickered with guilt, like she blamed herself for not catching it sooner. I leaned forward, keeping my voice calm. You did good, Lila. Tarek's tight with Damien's crew. Maybe Nico got to him. Lila's initiative was gold. She wasn't just a dancer. She was a detective now. Can you talk to Tarek? See if he's hiding something? But be careful. She nodded, her jaw set. I've got this. Her courage, raw and new, reminded me why I had to protect her. Ezra burst in, his energy cutting through the gloom. Babe, I've got dirt, he said, tossing his phone on the table. Shadow Vibes burner account posted again. A blurry video of your rehearsal, same angle as the leak. I traced the IP to a co-working space in the loop, and get this, security footage shows Damien there the same day. His grin was sharp, but his hand shook. His own scandal, design smeared as stolen, made every leak feel personal. Damien, I said, my voice tight. Last year, I'd edged him out for a grant, but it was worse than that. Years ago, I'd unintentionally cut him from a group project, thinking he'd flaked. He hadn't, just missed a call because his dad was sick. That betrayal, small to me, was huge to him, with his family riding him to outshine his failed artist brother. Was he Shadow Vibe, or just a pawn? Ezra scrolled further. There's more. The video has a move, a spin kick combo, nobody in our crew uses. It's old school, like from your early gigs. Shadow Vibe knows your past, Julian. His voice softened, and I saw his fear. If his scandal resurfaced, it'd hurt us both. I gripped his hand. We'll find them. Ezra, you're not your past. You're my spark. He nodded, his fire reigniting. Trust wasn't just strength, it was our edge. Marcus called as we left, his voice tense. The tech expert finished analyzing the footage. Definitely shot on a phone. Nico's, I bet. And the cloud hack used Tarek's stolen credentials, probably phishing. I locked everything down, but Julian, I should have caught this. His guilt echoed his dancer days, when a shady manager tanked his career. You're catching it now, I said. We need you, Marcus. Dig into Damien's contacts. See if Nico's tied to him. His silence told me he was ready to fight, not fold. That afternoon, I tailed Damien to a dive bar in Pilsen, Ezra and Lila on standby nearby. I'd seen him slip out of a rehearsal, and my gut said he was meeting Nico. Sure enough, Damien sat in a corner, Nico across from him, their heads low. I slid into a nearby booth, close enough to hear. Get more footage, Damien hissed. The boss wants Carter buried before the performance. Use the burner, Shadow Vibes orders. Nico shifted, uneasy, his tattooed wrist catching the light. I don't like this, man, he said. Carter's crew is tight. If I get caught, you won't, Damien snapped. Do it, or you're out. Nico's hesitation was clear. Fear, maybe debt kept him loyal. I snapped a photo, my heart racing, and texted it to Ezra. Asterisk got him. Stay close. Asterisk, I stepped out, the city's pulse steadying me. Damien was in deep, but Shadow Vibe was the real threat. That spin kick move, only a few dancers from my early gigs knew it. Was Shadow Vibe one of them? Someone I'd outshined? My phone buzzed. Asterisk, nice try, star. Your crew's next. Asterisk attached was a photo of Lila, taken outside the coffee shop that morning. My blood ran cold. Lila wasn't just a dancer. She was family. I called her, my voice firm. Lila, you with Ezra now? Don't go anywhere alone. Her shaky, okay, fueled my resolve. I wasn't just fighting for my art. I was fighting for them. Shadow Vibe thought they could dim us, but they were about to face a fire they couldn't extinguish. The photo of Lila, snapped outside the coffee shop, was a knife to my gut. She was just a kid, barely 20, and now Shadow Vibe had her in their sights. I'm Julian Carter, and I'd always danced through danger alone, but trusting Lila, Ezra, and Marcus had made us a firestorm. That star nickname and the spin kick move in their video pointed to someone from my past, a dancer I'd outshined, maybe hurt. But who? With the Pride performance 3 days away, I had to protect my crew and unmask this ghost before they burned us all. I called a meeting at the studio in Logan Square, the mirrors reflecting our tension. My crew stretched, their chatter forced, sensing the storm. I clapped my hands, pulling focus. Listen up, I said, my voice steady. Someone's targeting us. Leaked our video, threatened Lila. I need you to be real. Anyone see anything? Talk to anyone strange. My eyes scanned for cracks. Praying Tarek's bribe was the only betrayal. Lila stepped forward, her voice shaky but firm. I talked to Tarek, she said. He admitted he got an email with a phishing link. Clicked it, gave up his cloud password. He says someone offered him cash to keep quiet, someone tied to Damien. Her eyes met mine, guilt warring with resolve. I found the email on his phone. It's coded, signed as V. My pulse spiked. Shadow Vibe. Lila's courage was a lifeline, but her role put her at risk. You're a rock star, Lila, I said, softening. Stay close to Ezra, okay? No solo moves. She nodded, her fear easing. Ezra, pacing by the mirrors, held up his phone. I cracked the co-working space's server logs, he said. Shadow Vibe's latest post, a taunt about your fall, came from there, same time Damien was on camera. And get this, a deleted message from Nico's phone, forwarded to Damien, said, the star fades at curtain call. Sound familiar? His voice was sharp, but his hands trembled. His scandal, designs smeared as stolen, made every clue feel like a trap. My breath caught. Curtain call. I'd heard that phrase years ago, at a pivotal audition for a Chicago dance company. I'd landed the solo, outshining a dancer named Riley, a quiet kid with fierce moves. I called him star to hype him up, but when he didn't make the cut, he vanished. Had I heard him enough to turn him into Shadow Vibe? Riley, I muttered, the memory sharp. Could it be him? Marcus, at his laptop, looked up. I cross-checked Damien's contacts. Nico's tied to him. Owes him money from a bad loan. And the tech expert confirmed Nico's phone shot the leaked video. Metadata's clean. His voice was steadier, but his eyes held the ghost of his past, a dancer betrayed by a manager's greed. I'm digging into Riley's digital footprint. If he's Shadow Vibe, we'll find him. I nodded, trust anchoring me. Keep it at Marcus. You're our backbone. His small smile told me he was fighting his demons for us. I needed to shake Vanessa, see if she'd crack under pressure. I found her at the Foundation's office in the Loop, her desk a fortress of papers. She stood when I entered, her face pale. Julian, you're reckless, she said, her voice low. Victor Hargrove's not a man you challenge. He's why I push you to tone down. He'd pull our funding if I didn't. Her eyes flickered with shame, the memory of her failed queer art project, a loss that nearly ended her career, raw in her gaze. You chose his money over your heart, I said, stepping closer. But Shadow Vibes, not Hargrove. Who's helping you? Damien? Riley? Her flinch at Riley's name was subtle, but I caught it. Tell me, Vanessa, or this goes public. She gripped her desk, her voice breaking. I don't know any Riley. But Damien, he's been feeding Hargrove dirt. That's all I know. Her fear was real, but she was holding back. I left, her words a clue. Damien and Riley linked to Hargrove, but Shadow Vibe was the puppet master. Back at the studio, Ezra pulled me aside. Lila found something else, he whispered. A note in her locker. Stay quiet, or you're next. Signed, SV. My heart sank. Lila, targeted again, was shaking but defiant. I'm not quitting, she said, her voice fierce. We're family. I hugged her, my resolve hardening. Damn right. But my phone buzzed. A new text. Asterisk curtain calls coming, star. Your crew won't save you. Asterisk attached with a video. Marcus, outside the studio, unaware with that spin kick move in the background. Riley, or Shadow Vibe, was close, too close. I looked at Ezra, Lila, Marcus. Trust had made us strong, but now it was our shield. Shadow Vibe wanted my fall, but they'd get a fire they couldn't control. The video of Marcus with that spin kick move in the background was a taunt from Shadow Vibe, Riley, the dancer I'd outshined years ago. His curtain call phrase and the star nickname were scars from a 2015 audition where I'd stolen the spotlight, leaving him in the dust. I didn't mean to hurt him, but I had, and now he was hunting my crew. I'm Julian Carter, and trusting Lila, Ezra, and Marcus had turned us into a wildfire. With the Pride performance 2 days away, I had to unmask Riley and protect my family before his revenge consumed us. I gathered the crew at a diner in Andersonville. Its neon glow a shield against the city's eyes. Lila sat across from me, her hands fidgeting. I dug deeper into Tarek's bribe, she said, sliding a printout across the table. A Venmo payment, $500, from an account linked to Nico. Tarek's scared. He says Nico threatened to expose his side hustle if he talked. Her voice was steady, but her eyes held fear. Shadow Vibe's note, asterisk stay quiet or your next asterisk, had shaken her, yet she kept fighting. You're killing it, Lila, I said, squeezing her hand. But no more risks alone. Stick with Ezra. Her nod was fierce, her courage a spark in our fire. Lila wasn't just a dancer, she was our eyes. Ezra, scrolling on his phone, looked up. I found something big, he said, his voice tight. Shadow Vibe posted a new video. Same spin kick, but check the prop in the corner. He zoomed in, a battered red scarf, identical to one Riley wore at that 2015 audition. I cross-checked metadata and payment records. The post came from a cafe near Vantage Properties, Hargrove's turf. Riley's working with Damien, maybe Hargrove too. His jaw clenched, his scandal, designs smeared as stolen, making him fear Riley's next move. I'm putting my neck out, Julian. If my past leaks again, it'll hurt us. I met his gaze. You my spark, Ezra. We've got you. His grin, raw and real, fueled my resolve. Trust was our weapon, and Ezra's tech skills were its edge. Marcus, at the table's end, typed furiously. Nico's phone had a text from Damien. SV says get Carter's next rehearsal. Riley's calling shots, but Damien's the muscle. His voice was firm, the ghost of his dancer days. Betrayed by a greedy manager, fading. I'm setting a trap. We leak a fake rehearsal time, bait Nico to show. Security's on standby. His confidence was new, a sign our trust was healing him. Make it happen, I said. Marcus, you're our backbone. He smiled, a weight lifting. I needed to rattle Vanessa, see if she'd spill about Riley or Hargrove. I found her at a gallery event in River North, donors swirling around her like vultures. She froze when she saw me, her polished facade cracking. Julian, you're playing with fire, she whispered, pulling me aside. Hargrove's furious. He bankrolled my career after I lost everything pushing queer art. If I don't stop you, he'll ruin me. Her regret was raw, a glimpse of the Vanessa who'd once been an ally. Then fight back, I said, my voice low. Riley's Shadow Vibe, isn't he? You know him. Tell me, or Hargrove takes us both down. Her eyes widened at Riley's name, but she shook her head. I can't. He's too deep in. She turned away. Her fear clue. Riley was more than a pawn. I left, my mind racing. Riley, Damien, Hargrove, tangled in a web, with Vanessa caught in the middle. I flashed back to that audition. Riley's red scarf, his quiet intensity, my careless hype calling him star. I'd won the solo, but he'd lost a shot. Was that enough to turn him into a villain? At the studio, Ezra and Lila were prepping the trap. We posted a fake rehearsal time on socials. Asterisk late night practice tomorrow. Hashtag Pride Unleashed, asterisk Marcus rig cameras, his hands steady. That night, Nico showed, sneaking in with his phone raised. I stepped into the light, my voice cutting through. Nico, you're busted. Why's Damien got you running errands for Shadow Vibe? He froze, his tattooed wrist glinting. You don't get it, he said, voice shaky. Damien's got my back, pays my debts. But the boss, they're untouchable. His fear was real, debt chaining him to Damien. I grabbed his phone, finding a text from SV. Asterisk film Carter. No mistakes. Asterisk security moved in. But Nico's words lingered. Untouchable. As they hauled him away, my phone buzzed. A new text. Asterisk you're too late, star. Your stage is mine. Asterisk attached was a photo of Ezra outside the diner with Riley's red scarf in the frame. My heart pounded. Riley was close, watching, and Ezra was next. I looked at Lila, her face pale, and Marcus, his jaw set. Trust had made us a family, but now it was our armor. Riley wanted my curtain call, but I'd give him a fire he could now dance. The photo of Ezra, with Riley's red scarf in the frame, was a flare in the dark. Shadow Vibe was Riley, the dancer I called star before stealing his spotlight at that 2015 audition. His revenge wasn't just about me anymore. Lila, Ezra, and Marcus were in his crosshairs. I'm Julian Carter, and trusting my crew had made us a firestorm, but the Pride performance was tomorrow, and Riley's threats were closing in. I'd hurt him once, unintentionally, but now I had to stop him before he burned us all. We regrouped in my Wicker Park loft, the Chicago skyline a restless glow outside. Lila sat on the couch, her face pale but fierce. I checked Nico's Venmo again, she said, her voice steady. Another payment, $1,000 from a shell account tied to Damien. Nico's in debt. Damien's holding it over him. Her eyes met mine, fear warring with resolve. Shadow Vibe's note. Asterisk stay quiet, or your next asterisk. Hadn't broken her, but it had marked her. You're a warrior, Lila, I said, gripping her shoulder. But you're with us now, no more solo risks. Her nod was a spark, her courage fueling our fight. Lila was our heart, and I'd protect her at all costs. Ezra, pacing by the window, held up his phone. I cracked Shadow Vibe's latest post. A voice message taunting your curtain call. It's Riley's cadence, no doubt. He played it. The low, bitter tone, chillingly familiar. I pulled metadata from the cafe server logs. Posted near Vantage Properties, Hargrove's domain. Riley's running this, but Damien's is linked to Hargrove. Ezra's jaw tightened, his scandal, design smeared as stolen, making him fear Riley's next leak. If he digs up my past, it'll tank us. I grab his hand. Ezra, you're our fire. Riley's got nothing on you. His grin, fierce and raw, reignited my resolve. Trust was our shield, and Ezra's tech skills were its blade. Marcus, at his laptop, looked up. I recovered a deleted text from Damien to Nico. SV wants the performance stopped. Crash it. Riley's calling the shots, and Damien's guilt is driving him. Feels he owes Riley for failing him back then. Marcus's voice was steady, his past as a betrayed dancer fading. A flashback hit me. Damien, at that audition, promising Riley he'd have his back, only to watch him crumble when I won. Damien's loyalty to Riley was his chain. It's another trap, I said. Marcus, fake a rehearsal leak. Make Riley think we're vulnerable. Lila, you're with security. Ezra, monitor Shadow Vibe's moves. Marcus nodded, his confidence a testament to our trust. I needed Vanessa to break. I met her covertly at a park in Lincoln Park, the city's hum a tense backdrop. She was a shadow of her gala self, her eyes darting. Julian, we're digging too deep, she whispered. Hargrove's untouchable. He forced me to target you. Said my queer art flop proved I couldn't be trusted. But Riley, he's a ghost. Damien brought him in. Her regret was raw. The Vanessa who'd once championed artists like me buried under Hargrove's threats. Help me stop him, I said, my voice firm. Riley's Shadow Vibe. Give me something or you're exposed with Hargrove. She hesitated, then slipped me a flash drive. Damien's emails. Riley's plans. That's all I have. Her fear was real, but her choice was a crack in Hargrove's armor. The performance was at the Harris Theater, a sleek stage pulsing with stakes. My mom was there, her presence in the front row a quiet strength. "Burn bright, baby," she'd said on the phone, and now her eyes held me steady. The crew was electric, costumes shimmering, Lila's solo a blaze of courage. Ezra, working socials, texted, *live streams live. Boys Down's with you. Marcus, at the tech booth, signaled the trap was set. The music hit, and we erupted. Every move a defiance of Riley, Hargrove, Damien. My mom's proud smile anchored me. Lila's fire lit the stage, and the crowd roared. But mid-performance, the lights flickered, Nico crashing as planned. Security grabbed him, and I kept dancing, channeling fear into power. Backstage, Marcus whispered, "Nico's talking, says Riley's at a safe house, planning a final hit." Nico, cuffed, was shaking. "Damien's got my loans," he muttered. "But Riley, he's obsessed. Want you broken like he was." His fear of Damien, of Riley, made his confession real. I took his phone, finding a voice message from SV. "Crash the show, or you're done." Riley's voice unmistakable. Ezra rushed in, his face grim. Riley posted again, a live feed, threatening to leak my scandal unless you quit. Lila, beside him, was pale. He sent me a text, "No solo for you." He's watching. My mom found me backstage, her hug fierce. "You're not alone, Julian." Her strength, Lila's fire, Ezra's heart, Marcus's grit. Trust had made us unstoppable. But my phone buzzed. Curtain call, star. Your crew's next. A video showed my mom outside the theater unaware. Riley was here, and the fire was his. The video of my mom outside the Harris Theater, unaware of Riley's gaze, was Shadow Vibe's cruelest move yet. Riley, the dancer I called star before stealing a shot at that 2015 audition, was no ghost. He was Shadow Vibe, his red scarf and voice message proof of his vendetta. My crew, Lila, Ezra, Marcus, even my mom, was his target, and with the Pride performance's triumph still ringing, I had to end this. I'm Julian Carter, and trust in my family had made us a firestorm. Riley wanted my curtain call, but I'd give him a blaze he couldn't escape. We huddled at the studio after the show, the stage's energy lingering like static. Lila sat cross-legged, her face set. "I checked the theater's security footage," she said, her voice steady despite the threat. "No solo for you, Riley had sent her. Nico entered through a side door, guided by a text from Riley's burner. I found a payment trail. Riley paid Nico's last debt to Damien. Her eyes met mine, fierce. Lila had faced her fear, turning it into strength. "You're our star, Lila," I said, my voice warm. "But stay with Marcus tonight. No chances." Her nod was a vow, her courage our spark. Ezra, scrolling on his laptop, looked up. I traced Riley's latest post. Live feed threatening my scandal. Server logs and location data ping a safe house in Pilsen, near Vantage Properties. Riley's there, and get this, a recovered email from Damien to Riley says, "Hargrove's done with Carter. Finish it." Ezra's voice shook, his own scandal, design smeared as stolen, making Riley's threats personal. "I'm all in, Julian, but if my past leaks, it's on me." I gripped his shoulder. "Ezra, you're our fire. Riley's got no power over you." His fierce grin was my fuel. Trust was our blade, and Ezra's tech skills were its edge. Marcus, at his station, held up a flash drive, Vanessa's. Her emails show Hargrove's orders. "Silence you or lose funding." But Damien's scared. Says Riley's gone rogue, too obsessed. Riley learned hacking after the audition, turned his pain into a weapon. Marcus's voice was strong, his past betrayal, a manager's greed, fading. Vanessa's ready to talk. She's meeting us tonight, wants to make it right. I nodded, trust anchor me. "Set it up, Marcus. You're our rock." His smile was proof our fire was healing him. Vanessa met us at a quiet bar in Boys Town, its rainbow flags a reminder of what we fought for. She was a wreck, her eyes hollow. "Julian, I'm sorry," she said, her voice breaking. "Hargrove threatened to end me, like they did when I pushed queer art. Riley, Damien brought him in, said he'd handle you. I didn't know he'd go this far." Her guilt was raw. The Vanessa who'd once been an ally, clawing to resurface. "Help us stop him," I said, leaning in. "Where's Riley? What's his next move?" She hesitated, then whispered, "He's planning a final leak. Your crew's secrets tonight from the safe house. I'll help you trap him." Her offer was a lifeline, her redemption our chance. We set the trap. A fake social media post announcing a post-performance crew meeting at the studio, baiting Riley to strike. Marcus rigged cameras. Lila coordinated with security, and Ezra monitored Riley's burner. My mom called, her voice steady. "You're not alone, baby. I saw you shine tonight. Finish this." Her belief from that front row seat was my anchor. At midnight, we waited in the studio's shadows, the city's hum a tense pulse. Riley slipped in, laptop open, ready to leak. Ezra's scandal, Lila's private texts, Marcus's old audition failures. I stepped into the light, my voice cutting through. "Riley, it's over. I hurt you, and I'm sorry. But this ends now." He froze, his red scarf dangling, eyes wild. "You took everything, Star," he spat. "That audition was my life. You didn't even notice me break." His pain was raw, his isolation, shunned post-audition, fueling his rage. "Hargrove, Damien, they're nothing. I'm Shadow Vibe. I'll bury you." Ezra moved beside me, his voice fierce. "You're done, Riley. The world's watching." Marcus hit the lights, cameras rolling, security closing in. Lila stood tall, her voice clear. "You threatened me, but I'm not scared." Vanessa entered, her face grim. "Riley, I'm telling the truth. You're finished." Riley lunged for his laptop, but security grabbed him. His scream, asterisk curtain call, asterisk, echoed as they dragged him away. I stood, heart pounding, my crew around me. We'd faced his fire and burned brighter. But my phone buzzed, a final text from his burner. Asterisk, "You won't forget me, Star." Asterisk, "No video, just a promise." Riley was down, but his shadow lingered. Outside, my mom hugged me, her strength unwavering. "You did it, Julian." Lila, Ezra, Marcus, Vanessa, they were my family, forged in trust. Riley had wanted my fall, but we'd risen, a firestorm no one could extinguish. Riley's scream, asterisk curtain call, asterisk, as security dragged him from the studio, was a wound I'd carry forever. He was Shadow Vibe, the dancer I'd called Star before stealing his spotlight at that 2015 audition, his red scarf a symbol of his pain. His final text, asterisk, "You won't forget me, Star." Asterisk was a promise, but we'd faced his fire and burned brighter. I'm Julian Carter, and trusting Lila, Ezra, Marcus, and my mom had made us a family, a firestorm that saved my pride piece in our community. Now, with Riley down, I had to ensure his shadow didn't linger. The next morning, Chicago woke to chaos. Priya, a journalist Ezra tipped off, broke the story. Chicago choreographer targeted in vicious sabotage plot. It detailed Riley's hacks, Nico's role, Damien's complicity, and Victor Hargrove's pressure on Vanessa. Hashtag Pride Unleashed trended, Boys Town's protest against Hargrove's redevelopment plans swelling. I stood in my Wicker Park loft, the skyline a quiet witness, scrolling through the fallout. Riley was arrested, charged with cyberstalking and extortion. Nico faced aiding charges, his debts to Damien no excuse. Damien's gigs were canceled, a news clip showing his choked apology. I failed Riley like I fail myself. I'm sorry, Julian. His guilt, born of that audition's loss, was closure, not triumph. Vanessa held a press conference, her face drawn but resolute. I betrayed my roots, she said, voice breaking. Hargrove forced me to silence Julian, but I'm done. I resign, and I'll fight for queer art again. She'd given Priya the flash drive, exposing Hargrove's threats. Lawsuits loomed, but her return to advocacy was a spark reignited. Her past, shunned for bold projects, was her redemption, not her end. Lila burst into the loft, her energy electric. Julian, the crew's planning a free Boys Town performance, she said, eyes bright, to honor what we fought for. I'm leading it. Her courage, forged through Riley's threats, Asterisk no solo for you asterisk had transformed her. She wasn't just a dancer. She was our heart. You're in, right? Always, I said, hugging her. Lila's growth was our victory, a light Riley couldn't dim. Ezra followed, his grin fierce. Riley's digital footprint's gone, he said. I scrubbed his burner accounts, server logs, all of it. My scandal's safe, and so's the crew. His tech skills, honed through his own design scandal, had sealed our win. Boys Town's calling you a hero, babe. On it. His fear, once a shadow, was gone, our trust his shield. Marcus, quieter, set his laptop down. Hargrove's under federal investigation. Offshore accounts, fraud. His redevelopment's dead. His voice was strong. The betrayed dancer, he'd been replaced by a man who'd faced his past. I found something else. The letter Riley sent to Priya, post-arrest. He handed me a printout, his eyes soft. I read it, heart heavy. Asterisk Julian, you didn't see me break. That audition took my family, my hope. I became Shadow Vibe to make you feel it. I was wrong, but you'll always be star. Asterisk Riley's pain, isolated, shunned after I won, was raw, his hacking a cry I'd missed. I'd hurt him, not with malice, but with blindness. His arrest was justice, but his letter was a mirror. My mom arrived, her hug grounding me. You shine, baby, she said, her nurse's strength steady from the performance's front row. But you didn't do it alone. She was right. Lila's fire, Ezra's spark, Marcus's grit, Vanessa's turn, they'd carried me. I'd started this fight alone, doubting my flame, but trust had shown me its power. Riley wanted my shame, but we'd built a movement from Boys Town to the world. The crew's celebration filled the studio that night, string lights glowing, music pulsing. Lila led a freestyle, her solo ablaze. Ezra pulled me into a dance, his laughter free. Marcus joked with my mom, his past a shadow, no more. I stepped outside, the skyline a canvas of hope. This journey had been a crucible. I'd learned my fire wasn't just mine, it was shared, amplified by those I trusted. Every threat, every risk, every moment we stood tall taught me. Our strength isn't in shining alone, but in lifting each other. Riley's letter was his curtain call, but ours was a new act. Boys Town's fight, Vanessa's redemption, the crew's art, they were our legacy. I was Julian Carter, unapologetically me, and I'd burned brighter because of them. So, here's my question for you. If you faced a shadow from your past, someone you hurt without knowing, now threatening your family, your truth, your community, how would you fight back? What would you do to not just survive, but forge a fire that endures, lifting everyone with you?